Okay, I'm at Cash Marina at the moment, beside this gorgeous lake. It's a very hot day. Temperatures are predicted to be around 26 degrees C, possibly up to 28 or even 29 this afternoon and evening in the west. And the west is where I'm heading. Had to stop off here because it's too warm. Really struggling in the van. Had to throw water over, like her drink water, dipped her into this lake to cool her down. It's tough going, but we'll get there. So today is a potential storm chase day, which may or may not happen. We've got a plume of very unstable, warm, moist air coming up from the south on a southeasterly flow. And to the west we have a trough moving in later on, which doesn't really make that much of an impact, but a little bit. But the models are showing, low res models are showing over 1,000 Cape, and the high res models are showing between 2,000 and actually over 3,000 joules per kg of Cape. Actually 3,141 to be exact last night when I looked at it. So that's a lot of energy for Ireland. Certainly right up there near the top of the scale of what we expect to get. Good girl, Rhea. And here's the issue. The best Cape is in the west of the country. We have minus 40-degree cloud tops up above. Really cold up there, so that sounds really good for storms. We have surface convergence all along the west coast of Ireland, right up by Sligo, Mullaghmore, and to the west side of Donegal. Oh, Rhea. Rhea's not so sure. What do you think? And anyway, yeah. So we have, fly getting into me here. So we have surface convergence up the west of the country. There's actually like a breeze coming off the sea and meeting the inland southeasterly flow, and they're actually meeting perfectly. Classic convergence zone, and that seems to remain in place for quite a few hours up the west coast into the evening. The biggest problem is the SQTs are showing dry air at the mid levels. So what this means is that thunderstorm coverage will be very slight in the country today. There may be only a few storms, or maybe none at all. In fact, some of the models are showing great variation on where precipitation breaks out. At least 3 models are showing precip breaking out in Sligo, Galway, Sligo, up Mullaghmore into West Donegal, so that's encouraging. But the other models are showing nothing at all. So we really are rolling the dice today and taking a gamble. The majority of the forecasts are just showing it completely dry and hot the entire day, with not even one drop of precip, not even a shower. That's the worst case scenario, a classic blue sky bust. Our models are showing some showers breaking out, maybe non-electrified, and a few of the others are showing quite strong cores coming up from Sligo and maybe over West Donegal later. And it's lows I have my eye on, and I'm hoping that 1 or 2 of those might appear later and could be big cells, proper cells. So it's the kind of environment today where nothing could happen, but if it does happen, a storm would be very isolated and very powerful with very strong updrafts, especially that heat and the energy and the 3,000 Cape and the minus 40 cloud tops above, all very good ingredients. So it just comes down to the dry mid-levels and what the atmosphere can do. It's a challenging one. To be honest, I've been up last 2 days, day and night, studying the charts, and I've almost called it off several times. And I almost called it off last night, but today I just decided to take the gamble and go for it anyway, because I reckon if I sat at home and storms broke out later in the west, I would be so gutted. But I'm better off going and trying, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least I have a good adventure road trip. Oh, Rhea. So that's the plan anyway. Meeting up a couple of chasers. We actually had a few more people planning on going. We're supposed to meet up with Owen Rice today, the forecaster for our Facebook group, but unfortunately due to timing with travel arrangements, it looks like it's going to be too much of a rush to make it to our target destination. I will be meeting Paul Martin later. He finishes work, he's getting out a bit earlier today, so we'll hopefully meet him later this afternoon. And Nigel McFarland, I think, is coming down as well from the north of the country, so there'll be 3 of us chasing. 4 if you include Rhea. Our target area changed. Originally I liked the County Donegal area, especially the west side of County Donegal, anywhere from Donegal town up in Ballybuffane and up into Ardara, then Glencoe and along the west coast. All look very good for storms there. But unfortunately we just found out this morning that the Donegal Rally is on today, and it's a massive event. big crowds coming from great distances around the country, and the roads will be packed. There'll be road closures. We can't even take the risk of being stuck on a back road, trapped in that heat, especially with a dog in the car. So we've opted instead to go for plan B, which is mullaghmore in County Sligo, which is kind of a neutral position. So it's been good to us in the past. Maybe we'll get lucky again. But anyway, I'm going to cut this vlog short, and I'll check in later with an update. Whether it's a bust or whether it's a success, we'll find out in due course. But either way, what a gorgeous day. It was lovely. So fingers crossed for some action. Okay, so it's now just after 1:30 in the afternoon. The sky is still very quiet, mostly blue sky everywhere, with some pockets of elevated altocumulus castellanus, which is of no interest to me. I'm after the surface-based stuff. So it looks like it could be waiting for a while for any convection to start. I'm starting to get worried this is going to be a bust. There's no indication at all in the sky of storms going to happen, but there's a long wait to go. Some of the models are showing 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, or even 8 o'clock in the evening before we get activity. But at the moment I'm in County Fermanagh. Me and Rhea have popped down to Castle Caldwell Forest, chill out, enjoy the lake and cool down in the shade here, and I'll give the atmosphere time to do what I hope it does. But it's very warm. To me it doesn't feel like a storm day. It isn't that humid. I don't feel the moisture in my skin that I normally would feel in a good stormy event in this country, so maybe that's part of the problem, but we'll see later. Things can change. So I'm going to enjoy the scenery and County Fermanagh here, and then I'll head on through the lake and then eventually work my way down to mullaghmore and show you the castle in the distance. So it's a lovely area and famous for thunderstorms. Okay, it's now 2:05 and nothing has changed. The sky is completely blue with some small segments of altocumulus castellanus, and it's not looking good. But I'm in it for the long run, so I'm going to wait out. I thought in the meantime I'd do a bit of urbex exploring. Still in Castle Caldwell Forest here, but I wanted to show you this old church or chapel, whatever it is, ruins here. There's some real ancient tombs and gravestones around here. Looks like something out of a Dracula film.
Can't read that, can you?
Rhea, waiting for storms. Yoo-hoo! Uh-huh. Rhea, will we get any storms today? Get any storms? I don't know either. I'm not feeling it, are you? What do you think? Will we get any thunderstorms today? Maybe. You don't know. Same here. Well, Rue and I are enjoying the shade here. In another spot. This picnic area. Tree covers, nice shade, there's nice breeze, keep it real cool. So once we get into the open space here on the way to mullaghmore, it's going to be all open territory and very hot, no shelter, so difficult to keep her cool down. Alright, Rhea. What do you think? Okay, the time must be at least 2:30 now, maybe more. If the models are right, the initiation down south around Galway and up into Connacht should be around 4 o'clock or after. Bit of time yet, but I suspect that won't happen. If anything happens, it'll probably be much later in the day when these issues in the atmosphere become addressed, and if they become addressed. At the minute we're doing quite well. We left early and I'm glad we did. The traffic is still busy even at 12 o'clock in the day. Places there. It's going to get a lot busier this afternoon. Yeah. But fingers crossed some of these models are right. Some of them are showing, as I mentioned earlier, 1 or 2 strong sails coming up the west coast. Possibly inland around Hammermal. I can't speak right today. I'm still recovering from a chest infection for 3 weeks. Hammermal, you know what I mean if you live locally. So it's showing sails around there and Sligo, then moving up over the sea in full view of mullaghmore, and then over into Donegal on the west side later. So I'm hoping that comes true. Maybe we'll get a good view of something. We'll give it a go anyway. I don't like sitting around when there's a chance of storms any day, so this is what you gotta do. Most of the time you gotta drive out and take a lot of busts and disappointments before you get the good stuff. Alright, Rhea? Hopefully we'll get the good stuff. Okay, enough of that. We had a little snack there. Rhea had a bathe in the water, some food, drinks. I had some food, hydrated. I'm ready for the road again, so I reckon now we're going to head to Balleek and then see what happens after that. Start slowly making our way down to mullaghmore. Nigel's probably on the road at this stage. See him at some point, and Paul is only just finishing work now, so he'll be a couple of hours. He'll take a couple of hours before he gets here, so I'll see him later. So in the meantime, we're just going to enjoy the road trip, check out the scenery, and maybe we'll get lucky later. Okay, so it's just after 3 o'clock. Excuse me. Hay fever playing up. I'm just shy of mullaghmore on the west coast of Sligo. I'm technically just reached the boundary for County Sligo there now. Seen the sign. I pulled on the side of the road here to check out this location. It's kind of nice. It's a trail along the river I've never noticed before. Taking Rua here along, killing time. Nice little river from through here. But I just got a text message from Owen Rice. I was a little bit concerned that I'm not seeing anything in the sky here of interest, but he says towering cumulus have developed in Connacht, and that's away to the southwest of Sligo, so that's interesting. A bit of luck, those towers will develop, start moving north into the Sligo area later, so at least that's something. I'll show you this river. Nice little rapids in there. Okay, come on, Rhea. Rhea cooling down. Atta girl. Cooling down, Rhea? That's a girl. Good girl. What a bad spot to kill time when you're waiting in storms. Just follow this river trail around here. It's quite nice. It is warm. The van's actually reading 30 degrees Celsius, and even though you can't trust temperatures in the vehicle, I'd say it's probably a couple of degrees off what it really is. It's probably peaking around 28. It could be 30, who knows? I'll find out later on when the stats come in. But it is very warm today. The sun is strong. In this part of the countryside there's not much shade, it's just completely open countryside to the sea. So you truly are exposed to the sun here. And mullaghmore can be a very hot place, especially for a dog. The grass, the marsh, land around there can be very, very warm and stifling. So that's why I'm taking my time, slowly working my way down that direction and stopping off for shelter and to cool down for Rhea and myself. So I'm starting to get a little bit more hopeful now. Owen said there's towering cumulus in Connacht. For those who don't know, towering cumulus are convective clouds which are taller than they are wide. They look like vertical mushroom clouds. If you imagine the cotton wool clouds when they're vertically going up, vertical like that, with a mushroom on top, so they're bubbling up. So that's thermals, that's warm air ascending aloft in response to the heat and strong instability. Whether or not they'll develop into showers or storms, it remains to be seen, but at least that's something. So with a bit of luck, the strong solar heating, that 2,000 to 3,000 kp energy, the surface convergence, cold air aloft, and maybe some help from that trough later coming in from the west will engage this atmospheric instability and generate something of interest for us. With a bit of luck, we're not going to give up. We're here for the long run. I'd definitely stay until at least 8 o'clock at night anyway, to give all the models a chance at fulfilling their prophecies if they happen. If it's not, this is a complete blue sky bust and the reality of chasing. But at least the weather's beautiful, the scenery's gorgeous, and I'll meet some of the guys soon and I'll keep you posted. Near the narrow end of the mine, a few full of graves. Iron was smelted. Simple feet. Somebody come in. Okay, so I've just teamed up with Nigel McFarland there. He's just arrived on location. We're not far from mullaghmore, Castlebon area, but we thought we'd stop off, check out this other location. I've only seen this once years ago when I first went storm chasing this area. It's a court tomb, and I forget all the details about it, but this thing is ancient. There's a lot of people coming and going here, checking out tourists and stuff, so I'll keep my voice down. But it's a big area of rocks and stone. It's a burial ground. I'll get some video to show you here. Yeah, come on. Give me a shout, Nigel, and you want me out of the centre. Not a girl, not a girl. Good girl, good girl. Yeah. Pretty cool location, this ancient court tomb. Yes, Rhea. Rhea's looking me down now. Okay, so here we are at mullaghmore in County Sligo. Nigel's arrived, has joined us. Paul will be arriving later. We got mostly blue skies, a few cumulus clouds, but away to the southwest you can see some small convection and towering cumulus, quite high based, maybe elevated. There's Castlebon Castle, legendary location. And feeding up from the south-southwest we have more high base convection here, which is a good sign. It's actually been developing over the last hour, getting a bit beefier and taller. Slow developments, but it's trying. And Paul Martin's just arrived. Sensor at the top, on the bottom. 360. That's the screen. So update, it's after 5 o'clock. Paul Martin has joined us, so we're all here at Mullaghmore. And Jenny, it's hard to stick to the heat today. It is fairly humid, and at Van was reading 36 degrees Celsius going up the road there, but at one stage in the hot concrete just before Mullaghmore it was reading 40 degrees Celsius, and of course I know that's not accurate. It's just the van temperature, they're never accurate. But our older vehicles are consistently showing over 30 degrees here, and it definitely feels like it. It's wet on the skin, it's uncomfortable. Rio's kind of finding it difficult. I'm starting to find it difficult now in the skin. I might need to take shelter. Anything around here, there's absolutely nowhere to shelter, you're totally exposed. But the convection is getting problematic. We've lots of convection coming in from south, southeast, coming up. Towers keep trying recycling over and over, but the air is dry at the mid-levels, as we said earlier, and that's really killing them. They keep shredding and falling apart. The new towers are moving behind in an endless cycle. So we don't know what to make of it. There's not a drop of precip in the entire country, even though models should have had by now. So hopes are low we're going to get any storms, but some of the other models did show initiation later in the day. So we'll just have to stick it out. We're going to stick it out to the evening time and see if we get any hints of developments, and if not, we'll call it a bust and try again tomorrow. There's a slight chance there. Sun's just wet behind a cloud. That's Donegal in the distance, West Atlantic, looking towards Sligo, and then on further south Galway there's Classybon Castle in the distance. Towers keep developing here. Yeah, they keep shredding of the dry air aloft, so that's really problematic. There's not much you can do about it other than stick it out and see what happens. If it doesn't work, go home and try another day. Did you?
I just looked there. I don't know if it's right there. I'm slapping the tail on there to clear. Right there.
You make the drone up, it'll be over us.
Aye.
Well, hello. It's the following day to our Mullaghmore Sligo storm chase. As you can see from the video, it was a complete bust of a storm chase, which wasn't entirely unexpected. We had cumulus clouds developing, we had towers developing, working their way up over and over again in the same area, and for a while it looked to be a bit of hope. But from the onset, I never liked those high bases. They seemed to be lacking juice. And also, it was very obvious that the dry mid-levels were really killing the storm potential. And we also seen what looked like capping issues as well, which couldn't be overcome. As a result, we got plenty of convection passing through. We actually got a few drops of rain, light rain, which was actually amazing considering how dry it was. And we got one attempt at a fairly decent updraft base. The upper levels were not in good shape, but the lower parts were. A nice textured updraft base, we looked quite cool for a while, but that was it. We gave it our best shot right to the end of the day, and then we decided to call it a night. Unfortunately, the models, the other three models which picked no storms were correct. So it's now the following day, June 21st, and we have another chance here at more storms today, and unfortunately there probably is the same kind of savats like yesterday. But today we have sort of maybe a more homegrown kind of situation. We have 800 plus Cape, and we have we have, was it 30 to 40 knots of 0 to 6 kilometre shear, and we have up to 60 knots of deep layer shear. But when you factor in the surface flow, which is only about 7 miles per hour or so, southerly breeze, then the actual bulk deep layer shear is 50 something knots, which is quite outstanding. With that kind of shear, you can get multi-cell storms, organisation, and even supercell traits. The Cape is visible in the north of the country well into the evening, but it starts to decline and more into the realm of 100, 200 Cape, and some of the 0 to 3 kilometre models are showing higher Cape than that, locally up to 400 or 500. The best prospects of any sales look to be in the northwest of the country. I wasn't going to chase too far today, but I decided I'm going to go to the north coast. It looks like West Tyrone, County Derry, especially Donegal, and maybe the Foyle area might have a chance of sales passing over late in the day when the cold air aloft starts to spread in with a minus 30-degree tops. So my plan is, if there's any prospect on the radar, I'm going to take a gamble and drive to the north coast. I'm going to go to Loch Foyle, up on the high ground, maybe Gortmore or the Benevena Mountain. Beautiful locations. What a great place to look for storms anyway, on a sunny day. And I'll just wait it out there and see if I can get any sails passing over the area, and if not, I might have a good view of Donegal. So we'll stick it out until sunset or shortly afterwards and see how it goes. This looks to be maybe the last chance, a slight chance of Sunday tomorrow as well, but it's a lot more cooler, sort of normal air mass. But we're going to give it a go. I haven't got any decent this season yet. It's been a tough season. Very little in the way of storms, and days which look promising end up being either capped, or there's dry air aloft, there's not enough moisture. There's always something wrong. There's too much cool air and cloud top, or clouds from residual energy from elevated storms over the Irish Sea in England. Of course, England are getting an epic show today. They got potential supercells and huge energy yet again. So we seem to be struggling in Ireland this year, in Northern Ireland, to get something decent, and I haven't seen anything photogenic at all. So I'm really hungry to get something. Like, I'm not asking much really. I just want to get something cool on camera. So I'm going to go back out this evening and give that a go. And I think I'm meeting Colleen Webb. She's told me coming out too. I'm not taking Rhea with me today. She's under the table panting here. She had too much of an exposure to the sun yesterday. The heat was tremendous. The actual official figures was 29 degrees Celsius, or just slightly above it, in Castledurg, County Tyrone. So it was very hot and tough day, and a long day when you're out on the road and no shelter from the sun. So Rhea's going to stay behind me. My wife's going to look after her this time, thank goodness. So I'm going to head out to be able to commit myself more. Might be meeting Nigel McFarland, I'm not sure yet. I have to get in contact with him to see what he's doing. But either way, we're going to give it a shot anyway, so that's basically it. We're still on the hunt for storms, and I'll keep this vlog going and I'll check in with you later on. Okay, so I've now just relocated to the north coast. I've went to Gortmore viewing point here, absolutely beautiful location overlooking Loch Foyle and Donegal. And with me here is Colleen Webb. She's come up to chase these potential storms as well, and we've been here for about an hour now monitoring the situation, and to be honest, it doesn't look too good. It seems like we've got issues again with dry air aloft and a strong capping inversion, and the bases are extremely high. In fact, I would describe them as elevated. I was expecting surface-based convection, but that isn't the case. But to give you an example, behind me there, some of it's even flattened out into nonsense. But away to the west, which you can't see out here because there's haze, away to the west there is quite a few showers, colonies are in the radar. Yep. And they're getting a little bit stronger as per the models showed, and maybe some of them will work their way up here later. We don't know for sure, there's a lot of model variants, but at the moment it does not look good. It's an hour bust day, but we're going to wait it out anyway to after sunset and see if we can get any of these cells working their way up. Of course, the local TV forecasts are going for thunderstorms this evening and tonight and tomorrow for Northern Ireland, yet I don't really see any potential tomorrow, and I'm not really seeing it tonight either. But that's the nature of storm chasing for you. We're going to stick it out, and it is the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, shortest night. So we'll keep an eye out for any nice sunsets from here, and maybe we'll shoot that as to compensate for the storms. But in any event, I'm documenting this day and yesterday, whether they work out or not, just to show you that for those who are new to the subject, that when you're interested in storms and storm chasing, the results don't come fast at all. Sometimes you have to put in a lot of effort and a lot of failure and busts before you get the good stuff, and sometimes you get lucky. But we plan on getting lucky very soon. We've got to score to settle with nature, and we won't be giving up in a hurry. What do you think, Colleen? Yeah?
Yep, totally agree. Our storms are coming.
Storms are coming. The good ones are coming yet. Yep. We still have half a summer left.
And a tornado.
Yeah, we're going to get that tornado out funnel or water spout, and the beautifully structured multi-cell storms, maybe a supercell, you know, we're not being too greedy.
No.
And some nighttime lightning.
Yeah.
I think that would finish off the summer well, and as you said, lightning and an NLC
Yeah,
display.
that'd be cool. Definitely.
That'd be nice. And then once we get into August, we'll be starting to look for the auroras again.
Yeah.
But anyway, in the meantime, we're going to enjoy watching the sky and see what nature does. Yeah, so we're just watching the sun here. It's gone behind a cloud at the minute, but the sun has been popping in and out here on the north coast of Northern Ireland. Bit of a hazy sky, some rays fanning down. Colleen is looking across the middle and west end of Loch Foyle here, and on the left hand side of her you can see the distant mountain of Benevena and some small convective clouds above. But away in the distance, actually to the left of where Colleen's looking, you won't be able to see this in the phone, but we just spotted towers. Kind of tall, they're still high base, but they're kind of tall way to the west. We checked radar and they're actually producing precip, and that's over the west coast of Ireland, mullaghmore up to Donegal. There's definitely precip falling out there in the radar, intensifying. I'm zooming in here now. They're hard to make out, to be honest, but there's something happening in the west. We're going to give it a while anyway and see if anything comes out of this inland. But yeah, Colleen, we'll try anyway.
Yes, give
I
it a
think.
go.
Give it a go.
It could happen, it might not, but we'll see.
This is actually not the god of storms,
I think it is actually got him.
or something like that. Wonder will he work his magic? See, it doesn't focus too well. It's just, yeah. So there's a red core. It's weakened a bit, but two red cores down below the border here. They were actually better looking earlier. And over to the west here we have a whole line. It was once good, but it's turning into quite a mess. But all this area is moving south to north and just slowly east. We still have 50 knot shear in this time. Cape is weakening from the ground, but we still have elevated instability, and we've got a couple of cells over Fermanagh. We're just watching this area of interest. We're actually located around here, waiting for others to come up and meet us. But confidence is low. There'll be any lightning. There's none in the entire country, but we're not giving up. And for anybody interested, this is what we're dealing with. This was an elevated cell out west. It's now weakening. It's just some precip, and you can see how high the base is. And you can also see how sheared it is too, and a strong shear. It's just a shame it isn't producing precip now or turning into a storm. But you can see that strong wind shear at work. And away back here, north side of the mountain, there's convection, high based, elevated again away in the west coast, but looks awful. So not good, not good. Okay, so what time is it now, Colleen?
It is, I think it's 10 past 10.
10 past 10. So we've been here for quite a while now, and unfortunately it hasn't worked out for us. The capping inversion in the dry air loft has done its evil work again for the second day in a row. So fortunately no storms for us. There's incredible storms going on over England, a few in Scotland. Looks like elevated supercells, maybe a mesoscale convective system. But we're not getting any of that. There's cells down in the south, but they're dying. The cells in Ireland are producing precip and they're coming up, but they're not producing any lightning whatsoever. So there's problems with the atmosphere. We're going to call it a night, and hopefully we'll get another shot soon. What do you think, Colleen?
I'm just so fed up. There's no storms, nothing's happening, but hopefully now Mother Nature will reward us for our dedication, keeping chasing and keeping going. So I do think the storms are going to happen, and we will be rewarded, and we're going to get a good show or a good display of something, and maybe that tornado is still to come yet too. So.
Yeah, that's the thing about storms. You have to be so positive and tenacious, don't you, and dedicated, and even when it doesn't work out, and if you have a bust, you just have to keep at it and you have to learn to take disappointment, even though it's very hard sometimes. I've learned how to deal with disappointment with the storms over the years. I've got good at it, but this year I'm suffering a bit. I'm starting to resort back to my older days. I'm getting really disheartened, but I know that if you keep ploughing away at it, the results will come and nature will reward you, with something special. So we're hoping that's going to happen soon. Maybe if it doesn't happen this month, we'll get it in July and August or early September. But we're not going to give up anyway. So that's the nature. Storm chasing doesn't always work out. You put in the miles, put in the hours. It's actually pretty cold up here in the mountain too, surprisingly, considering such a hot summer's day. It just doesn't feel thundery. But anyway, we're only lamenting for so long before we're thinking ahead to the next setup.
Yep.
And we look forward to the next chase
Looking
day.
forward to
We look forward to those photo opportunities. So I'll catch you then. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.